I am here and I am curious because I found a pregnant woman in the confessions booth. I need to get up, go to her and listen to her confessions, come back into the studio. Let's make a conversation out of this so that you and I can learn a thing or two. People, don't go away. I will be right back. I listen to so many stories, even though it takes me on an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes I miss hearing these stories. Tonight, I am quite curious because I'm glad it's not a sad story I hear, but I'm just curious. My lady, you're welcome to Confessions.
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy.
Okay, we're ready for your story.
So my confession is one that is something I'm not really proud of. I know it's nothing to write home about, but I found myself in desperate times, so I allowed myself to do what I didn't want to do.
Okay.
So here I was, I got intimate with a man, and it led to an unexpected pregnancy.
Okay.
But this man didn't want to take responsibility. So as young as I am, I had to struggle with the thoughts of raising an unborn child when I'm financially unstable. So in a conversation with one of my close friends, she told me that she has a sugar daddy who is quite stingy, but gets generous whenever they have sex. So she suggested that I sell my urine to her so that she could dupe him to get money out of him for an abortion.
Use your urine.
Yes.
She will borrow your urine.
Yes, please.
And she would use it to
For a pregnancy test.
that she's pregnant.
Yes. And he, happening to be a married man,
Okay.
did not like the idea. So our plan went well.
It did.
She came to me and she was telling me how everything went. And just then the man sent her 5,000 cedis to abort the baby.
I mean, do they charge that much? In Ghana, it's actually illegal to get an abortion, but I don't know if they charge as much as 5,000. That's 5K, that's money.
Yes, and she gave me my share.
Oh,
Yes.
how much did you get?
She gave me 500 cedis.
Ah,
But she told
are
me...
you good? She just gave you 10% of it.
She told me that it was a tip and that it was just the beginning of a business.
Okay.
Now, when I got the money, should be told, I did feel guilty, but because I was in need of the money, I took it, which was against my principles and my morals as a person. Now, she has been doing that to several other men. She has intercourse with them, and she will use my urine to pin a fake pregnancy. They will give her money for abortion. I'm giving my share, and we've been at it for months. Now, I feel so guilty. It's weighing me down. I know it's not right, but I can't help it. I keep doing it. I know I'm duping people, I know I'm deceiving people, but I need the money. And every time I look at my belly and think of the unborn child in me, I just feel like I have disappointed him or her, because even before he or she came into this world, the means I'm using to raise him or her is wrong. And that is not who I am as a person. I'm haunted by my choices. I don't know what to do. I need help.
Whoa. She has been making her urine available to young women to use as a bait to take monies from their beloveds. Men that are married, men with names, who would rather not have children outside wedlock, but do not mind having unprotected sex with these young ones. People, this is her confession. Does she have any business feeling guilty? Or these men deserve it? Oh, it's such a minor confession. We really shouldn't be too hard on her. I do not know. I want to go into the studio and get to know. I'm just excited. The story is quite interesting, and I can't wait to hear the opinions of our studio audience and also of our guests. This is Confessions. Join me in the studio. Already with me in the studio is the Prophet Echo Daniels. It's always a delight to have him here with us. Prof, you're welcome to Confessions tonight.
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy.
Now, is this a confession that we need to cry over?
Oh, no, of course not. But it's a confession that needs solution.
Okay.
The lady needs help, you know, both physically and spiritually. And I'm trusting that by the grace of God, we will be able to help her as always.
This one, spirit one come inside.
Oh, definitely. By the story, she needs a spiritual help as well.
I see.
She needs cleansing.
That's her waist.
Yeah, if you are a spiritualist, you will know that it's not just a waste. So urine has spiritual connotations to the well-being of a person.
Okay.
So if you knew a herbalist, they will tell you not to even pee on herbs or on plants.
Yes.
So people just take up their organs and just pee on plants
Anywhere.
Anywhere,
It's not right.
It's a very dangerous thing to do. So she needs cleansing, and then she needs psychological help, which I believe Confessions will deliver.
Apparently, there is nothing under the sun that is easy. Anytime something is happening, there is a spiritual connotation and all of that. You get to hear all of these things on Confessions. On my own show, I learn a lot. Any day, and it's always a delight. Yes, my lady?
Oh, I have a contribution.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Miss Nancy. First of all, I have a message for the young ladies out there. First of all, a married man cannot marry you. So for you to think that you date a married man and you get pregnant and he would accept the pregnancy, it's a joke. And then you get pregnant, right? And then you don't have the money to take care of yourself. It's
An unplanned child.
It's an unplanned child. It's better for you to have sold sachet water or got into maybe a very petty trade or something, other than selling your body for money to a married man and you expect him to accept the child. That's no. Then secondly, the lady says she has moral standards. And then look at her friend, the kind of business her friend is doing, selling urine. And I mean, you're not different from your friends. So if she says she has high moral standards, I advise her that the first thing she has to do is to leave that friend. She has to leave her friend. And she might think, oh, I don't have where to go to. But trust me, if she stays strong, she will definitely, hope is going to shine on her, like luck is going to shine on her. And then she will discover that she has an option. There is always an option if we really sit down to think. Thank you.
Show me your friend and I show you your character. You don't tell us that everyone around you is bad, but you're the only good one. It doesn't happen like that. Yes, there was someone here. Before I bring in our resource persons for tonight.
Hi, Miss Nancy.
Hi.
So first of all, I'd like to say that the lady has done a good job by coming to seek for help.
Sure.
Because here on Confessions, we help people get solutions to their problem. And so I'd like to say that the lady needs to get away from that friend. Because, this issue is one of the issues that is going on in our various tertiary institutions, where people sleep with married men and then fake pregnancies to extract money from them. And so this lady has realized that what she's doing is wrong. So she realizing that what she has done is wrong, she needs to confront her friend and tell her that what she is doing is wrong. And so she wouldn't want to participate in it again.
Yes. Thank you. Joining me in the studio to have this conversation is a lady and a gentleman, a lady apostle, actually. Her name is Constance Amabuama Dakon, leader of the Grace Impact Ministries right here in Accra. Please show her some love. Accompanying her is my dear lawyer, lecturer, relationship consultant, Oguchuku Oga, I affectionately call him. People, yes. My lady, you are welcome. Please have a seat. Oga, how are you doing?
Well, good to see you.
It is always a delight to have Oguchuku in the last name is Nweke. I'm trying so hard to sound like Nigerian.
Yeah.
And my lady, your first time on Confessions, you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Right. This is the confession I hope you heard.
Yes,
We've been discussing it right here in the studio before you joined us. A woman says, I had unprotected sex with a man and he's not interested in the pregnancy, and so she has to survive by herself.
Yeah.
Men having unprotected sex with women and being unable to take responsibility for their great joy in the bedroom. Oga, tonight you are representing all Ghanaian men.
Wow.
All Nigerian men. In fact, all African men, because we know confessions go that far. My lady, would you want to be kind to him before we start shooting him left, right, center?
Yeah.
The man who says, I had sex with you, it was unprotected, but I'm not ready for the issues out of that sex.
In fact, it's not fair. It is not fair. And it's a trend now. And some men think it's normal. It is normal, but it is not. How can you put a lady in such situation and you think you can't take responsibility? No, whatever you sow, you must reap.
Yeah.
And I believe there must be a system to hold them responsible.
Technically.
Yes, there must be a system.
Supposedly there is a system, but the system is not working. So many men, some of them, you'll be amazed at how affluent they are. It's not like they don't have the money. They have the money, but so long as I didn't tell you to get pregnant, and I had unprotected sex with you, and actually, gave it to you, it's not supposed to germinate.
But they are
because
forgotten.
I have not said it should.
They are forgotten that when you sow, you reap. Whatever you plant, you must have an harvest.
Yes.
Yes, so, and that is why the Bible also adjourned us that we should stay away from sex if we are not married together. If we are not together, we shouldn't have sex. And ladies out there, you are very special people. We are.
We are.
In fact, our Savior came through a woman. So you should know how precious we are before the Lord.
Yeah.
And so don't cast your pearl before swine. That is what the Bible says. You are valuable. Why do you sell yourself to a man who is not prepared to take responsibility?
When you see their faces, they are wearing kaftan like Ogu, shoes are on point, smelling good, glasses, portfolio, degree first, second, masters, international certificates. He looks like a fine gentleman. And then you realize that beyond the letters behind their names, they have no virtues.
So I can say there are always red flags that we women tend to ignore. There are always red flags. You will see. But you see, love sometimes says it's blind. So you are seeing the red flags and you don't want to take it seriously.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you become the victim.
Yeah.
For instance, on your special day, he has forgotten.
Your birthday, he
Yes.
can be bothered.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then maybe you need something. There are so many excuses. Or he will ask you, do you have any money on you? Can you borrow me? Can you do this? Yes.
Some of them actually can borrow.
Oh, yes.
This sister, if you go in for someone else's husband, who will borrow money from your lot is no good.
Yes.
You need cleansing.
Cleansing. And so they come in that way. You see, some will also deceive you. And so the red flags are there that most women ignore. And then we become the victims.
Thank you. That's a good one. Oga, see your brothers.
You don't crucify me finish. I don't even know where I want to
Oga,
start.
see what your brothers are doing. This man goes out there, gives himself to a woman, releases his joy, his DNA in a woman, and says, I do not want to be responsible for what happens in your body after I have released into you.
Yeah.
The girls who are saying that they are in love with other people's husbands, married men, hey, do you have a word for them? You speak like the man that you are. Madame said they are blindfolded by love. Can you love someone else's husband?
Well, love is not blind. People that fall in love get a bit too hasty sometimes with the decisions they make.
Okay.
But I don't agree that love is blind. You know, some of the times we make just very, forgive me, but silly mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to the subject of sex, like, you know, Madame has already said, the two are willing participants. They came into it together. I don't know if they talked about it in terms of the expectations they have of each other.
Oga, talking about it, saying, you know you put it here, this is what will happen. What talking again?
So you see, it's not that easy. It's not that easy, and I'm trying to be as realistic as I can be in this situation. So the man is married. Like she said, it's a red flag. You're a single woman. You go into a relationship with a married man having unprotected sex. It's a red flag. There's something that should be ringing in your head that you're setting yourself up for a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, it also depends on what you and the man discussed. Most relationships like that are transactionary. You know, so what am I giving you and what am I taking?
They pretend they're in a decent relationship where we care about each other. Everyone is pretentious. They never have the serious convo that is supposed to be had.
The interesting thing in that kind of relationship, if we're going to be frank, is that there's a cushion the man provides and there's a cushion the woman provides.
Indeed.
The man provides money, the woman provides sex. Okay? So at the end of the day, when the man gives you money and gives you 5,000 Ghana cedis, he doesn't go back home and say, hey, I will not give you that money. He don't give you, he don't give you. You know? So he is taking responsibility for whatever it is he's walked into. So he is also expecting the woman to take responsibility for what she's walked into. So you should have known that in this kind of situation, if we have unprotected sex, it is possible that you get pregnant.
Yeah.
But you and I know that we can't walk that road. So what are you going to do? That is reality. Whether or not I agree with it is another subject. But this is the reality, and that's how it works.
Now let's come to the things that the young people are doing in Accra to survive. From this confession, a pregnant woman is selling of her urine, giving it out, dashing it out to her friends, just so she can take something back. And from what she says, she's only taking 10% like tithe, just like God. The things we are doing to survive, is that right, Mama?
It is not right. But when you are not in her shoes, you easily condemn her.
Absolutely.
When a woman is pregnant and needs to survive, and needs a baby to survive, she can go all length to do what she has to do to survive. So if you are not in her shoe, you'll be quick to judge her. But what I want to say is that it is not right, but she's doing everything possible to survive.
Yeah.
That is the first thing.
Yeah.
Secondly, to sell your urine, which is also a waste product of your baby, your unborn baby.
Yes.
It means that you are selling his or her destiny. What about if the friend used the urine for ritual?
Something else?
Yes.
Instead of what it was intended for.
It's a serious thing. No matter what, whether you have to do whatever it is to survive, there are certain paths you don't even have to tread at all. It is not right and it is not good. The best thing to do is to confess to the friend, tell the friend it's not right, I'm moving out of this transaction.
And how is she going to survive?
The
I
other-
already have issues from confession that we need to take care of. I'm not adding this one to it.
No, there are other means to survive. That is why as a child, I don't know whether she's a Christian. If she's a Christian, she has to go and talk to the church.
Yeah.
The church has a system of welfare where we help the vulnerable like her.
Your church has it?
Yes, we do.
Your church has it?
We do.
Can you speak to the other churches?
We do. I can't tell of it, but we do.
Yeah, but talk to other Christian organizations about issues like this and how the church is supposed to come in and give support to such.
Yes, if we don't help them and they are in the world, this is what we will get. In the days of the apostles, the Bible says that the disciples even sold their properties and distributed among themselves that there was none that lacked.
With a need.
None that lack.
None. But what we see today, I can speak for myself. We have a foundation that will help vulnerable women or even men, young women. We even sponsor them to go to school. Awesome. Yeah, that's what we do for them.
Thank you.
And so if wherever she is, we are ready to take up responsibility for her.
Awesome.
Oga,
we'll do that.
the things the young people are doing in Accra to survive.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is one of the least things that a woman can do. Hers is not serious, cry. Hers is minor, cry, right?
You just the scratch surface. You never enter anywhere. That's true. And for me, that's the most sobering part of her story. You know, but one of the first questions I asked myself when I heard that part of her story was, what kind of support system did she grow up in? Who are the people that she was meant to fall back on? Why did her friend become her option or her first option?
Where is her family?
Where is her family? We are Africans. I keep saying we are Africans. You know, there are just certain things we cannot overlook. And this is an indication that parents, pastors, imams, teachers, anybody that calls himself a mentor, but whoever it is you mentor has an issue and cannot come to you except when they have successes, but they cannot discuss their downfalls with you. You are not a support system, you're not a mentor.
And mentor is supposed to be a support system as well.
Absolutely.
You don't glory in their glory only.
Absolutely. You know, and that's what's happening. Why was she so afraid to speak to people that should give her support? The kind of support that will guide her. So if she goes to church, how come she couldn't speak to her pastor? If her parents are alive, how come she couldn't speak with her parents? Okay, how bad is it? In Africa, we say, you know, get waiting ear here, we're going to make them bleed. It will never bleed. You know, so why was she afraid to speak with the people that will guide her? And she ended up with this friend. Now, like she was saying, if you think about it critically, she's a good mother.
She is.
She's
a very responsible one,
Absolutely.
trying to live and let her child live too.
And she has a conscience.
Yes.
She's saying to herself, this is what I have and this is what I'm going to use. I'm not going to steal from anyone. Even though if you look at what you're doing is obtaining through false pretenses.
It's equal to stealing, isn't it?
You know, so, but at the end of the day, she did something. You can never act better than the information you have. You know, and you can never act better than what is available to you. That's what she did. Okay, and it's indication of where she is coming from, the background, the support system that guides her.
Let us go back and be Africans. Africans that believe in not just the nuclear family, believes in the extended family system where we have people to fall back on. And not only the people that will glory in our glory, but those that would go with us during their very struggling times. This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy. I have with me Oga Oguchukwu and Apostle Constance. With me also is the Prophet Echo Daniels. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Still here in the studio with her confession. She's been dishing out her urine to her friends to be given out to men who refuse to pay. Now we'll come to that part. The men that are refusing to pay, that they actually have to be set up so women can take money from them. Is that a characteristic of a sugar daddy? You are a shameless sugar daddy. Are they not? Okay. Prof, how can a man say, I am married, I'm a big man, I have a side chick, and you are not giving the side chick money such that she has to orchestrate a whole plan to be able to take just 5K from you?
Well, they said if Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain will come to Muhammad, isn't it?
Yes. You need to speak to the men that are out there having extramarital affairs, that it comes with a certain responsibility. They have to live up to it. Prof, you don't want to do that one.
No, so I don't subscribe to that. I believe that, like Counselor and the woman of God have spoken, I so agree to all the things that they have said. I think that before you take a step to even go outside of your marriage, there should be a marital problem. You see, and sometimes people ignore the situation in the marriage. So the marriage must be fixed. The man going outside the marriage may have issues going on in the marriage. And we need to look at what is happening in the marriage. Because you see, if there are things with men, counselor will bear witness. There are things with men that if they are not dealt with in the home as a man, to please the ego of a man, he may want to look for it somewhere else.
Elsewhere.
It's a natural thing with men. I won't sit here and pretend like I'm a prophet, so I'm coming to quote Bible. This is the reality. For example, if the man is not getting sexual satisfaction in his marriage, trust me, he will look for it elsewhere. It does not even matter if he's a man of God.
Yeah.
You see, so
It doesn't even matter if he's a man of God.
No, it doesn't
A
matter.
man is a man.
I'm telling
and he
you.
needs his sexual urges to be fulfilled.
you mentioned that we are Africans.
Yes.
One of the best, antidotes of an African man to please him is good sex in the home. Ask counselor if I'm lying.
Mama.
It's true.
It's right. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Good sex and good food.
This has been a fact and it has been established on confession.
It's a good sex and good food. You see, so you're a wife listening to me. You want to keep your home. You want to make sure that your husband isn't going out. You're a young lady. You are learning from this confession session. Keep your man whichever way you can. Prayer is awesome. It's beautiful. Fasting is awesome. It's beautiful. But I'm telling you that these things won't keep your husband. What will keep your husband is learning to study and understand the kind of a man you have gotten married to.
Absolutely.
And how to keep him for yourself. You don't depend on everything is spiritual. We have to pray about it. We don't pray about good sex. We learn.
On confessions, you have to give some akwantre to the women the number of times they should be giving it to their husbands back at home. Akwantre, how many times? This is akwantre. Let's give it out.
If your husband, because you see, there are men who are nymphos, also by how they grew up.
Yeah.
And if your husband is a nymphomaniac, you are in trouble. You need to feed him sex as much as you are feeding him food.
Yeah.
Because this is what you've gotten yourself involved in. You understand?
Yes.
If he's a man who wants sex maybe once a week, twice a week, you talk about it. Yes. Communication is proper. You don't go and listen. And I have a personal problem with married women, and I've said this over even here before. You don't go and talk to a man of God above your husband. Your husband should be more respected than a man of God. You never do that. You see, but we live in a society where people place premium value, especially wives. And I'm a man of God, I'm telling you. Wives put premium value on their pastors than their husbands. And so, no it's me pastor say. The man will cheat, I'm telling you.
On confessions tonight, we have one of the finest prophets in town that says that he says that you need to attend to your husband. Make sure that woman, every now and then you're on top. Literally on top. Okay. Back to the woman that is having this young lady that has been collecting the urine, has been dishing it out to different men. Because in 1 month, you cannot say you are pregnant twice. When you say you are pregnant today, it will take a while before you are able to say the same thing with the same man. So this woman is sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry for money. The implications of having multiple sexual partners. You are not medical people, so you will speak from the religious point of view, and Oga will speak for the realities of our African world. Yes, Mama.
Okay, so before I answer this question, we talked about the support system.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Where the church, why can't the lady, if she's a Christian, why can't she go to the church? One, the church has a culture of frowning upon women who get pregnant out of wedlock. Now, the condemnation, the rejection, will cause them to hide and do something else.
In some places, you even get suspended.
Yeah, you'll be suspended.
There's a black chair you are meant to sit on.
Yes.
And so we don't give our young women an opportunity to approach us because we are always judgmental. Meanwhile, when you go into their closet, they are worse than that lady. So I think the church must look at this. We should embrace just like Jesus did. They brought a woman who was adulteress.
Yes.
And about to stone her to death. Jesus asked them, if any of you here have never sinned, you should be the first to cast the stone. But in our modern days, in the church, we are always casting stone. Always casting stone.
Today, salvation has come for the church, hasn't it? Thank you.
Okay, so let's come to the issue about the woman with multiple sex partners, unprotected sex. It will lead to STDs. Yes. So I'll not be surprised.
For her humanity, Mama, how does it feel to be having so many sticks entering your palace?
So unless you are possessed. So I'll speak as you are possessed. You need to be possessed to do
be
this.
able to accommodate so many.
Because remember, sex unites the two. That's what the Bible says, the two shall be one. One in spirit and in soul. And so when you go out sleeping with multiple men, in fact, you need to be possessed. Yes. So she needs deliverance.
My sister, if you have that grace of sleeping with multiple men and not being bothered by it, today we have established another fact and confession. Yeah. You are possessed.
Yes.
Seek help. Oga, back to you.
Yes, ma'am.
A typical African woman having multiple sexual partners, being unashamed about it, and trying to dupe them all. Is it not because the men are mean? Because if you had one man that is being kind to you, now would you be all over the place?
So first, she's an African by name and by birth, but she's not an African by orientation. And so she doesn't know what she's meant to know. This, for her, is a business venture. And that's her business model. Sleep with as many men as you can, and, set them up nicely so that you can get whatever it is you want. It might not be because they're not giving her, but she wants more. And if it's become a business venture, she will do whatever it takes to get more. Okay? Now, we also live in a time where these things are so normal. Controversy sells so good. Whatever it is you're doing to make money is fine. So she's doing it, and she's making money. Yes, she could be possessed, but how would she know?
She wouldn't even know.
She wouldn't know. As far as she's concerned, she's making good money, And she posts all those beautiful pictures on social media, and there are 120,000 girls that are saying, I want to be like you when I grow up.
And Oga, the sad thing is they are unable to use this amount of money for anything that you would look back on and say that this is for all the men I slept with. It's a mansion.
Because
it's a piece of land.
Yes. They never believe that it will finish. They believe that it will keep flowing. They don't see that they are getting older. They don't see that the men are also getting wiser. They don't see anything. They just believe that if I can get 10,000 today, I can get it tomorrow. So let me just spend and show people that you thought I wouldn't amount to anything, but look at me now, And then the latest is a small girl of a big God. So that is our reality. She's doing it, and so we need to also pay attention to where she's coming from. Yes. How did she come to a point where she saw this as a business venture? How is it her own way of surviving? There are a lot of people that need help. And, I like what Prophet said. Some of the times we can look at these things on the surface and think we've found the solution. But there's a root to every challenge that we see, So wherever it is that she's coming from prompted her to behave like that, and that's what we see. So she too needs help. Whether it's in the form of deliverance, or counseling.
And I saw that you brought us some, what is it? You brought some gifts, right?
Yes.
I can pick it up. Let's see. Pick it up.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yes. So.
Give me one. Okay.
Yes.
This is a gift voucher.
Yes.
Relationship consultancy services for all my viewers. This is it. On confessions, we get results. It is worth 2,000 Ghana cedis. If you're struggling with any aspect of your relationship life, Ogu, he is a lawyer, he's a relationship consultant, and he would give you the info. You are watching him, you are listening to him, and you know that the man is loaded, right? So if you are interested, the number's down there, connect with us. Who knows? You get to have an experience with those great men. Thank you very much. You're so kind.
Thank you very much.
Spirit spiritual implications of a man that sleeps with a woman who has multiple sexual partners? The man who is one of the partners. Is it okay that, okay, if I sleep with her and she's got 10 other men sleeping with her, it's none of my business, I get my joy? Does this have a spiritual effect on you, the man, as well?
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy. So, sex is a spiritual connection, you see, and oftentimes people say they have spiritual marriages, they say they have soul ties. You see, that's because everyone you connect with, like the woman of God said, that the two shall become one. Wow. The Bible also says that he who becomes one with a harlot. So a harlot is who? Somebody who sleeps around with different kinds of people. Now, Jesus would meet one man, and that man would say, my name is a legend. I have over 2,000 demons in me. The problem is that there are people who are walking in flesh as though they are so normal, but in spirit, they are harboring a lot of demons in them.
The spirits of other people.
Some are carrying about 5,000 demons in one person, and some of them are a demon of poverty, stagnation. You know, your life will never be progressive. Why? Because you went into a pit, and then you brought out certain kind of treasures as your sexual satisfaction will lead you to. So you dug in there, and then what you got is a lot of evil. So the man is doing so well. He enters, excuse me to say, one woman, and all of a sudden, everything is collapsing. The woman is doing so well. She dated one guy, and all of a sudden, everything is going down. What happened? You have had an intimacy, not with flesh, but by a spirit. And every spirit has a source. Normally we call it altar. So there's an altar that sponsors the effect of that spirit. The Bible will tell you that even if you cast out one demon, the demon goes, gathers their friends and relatives, comes back to that place and realizes that, oh, this place is still empty. Then stronger ones than the one that left comes to inhabit that place. So everything you are doing as far as sex is concerned, you must understand that it goes beyond the flesh. What are you going to take in now? What are you receiving? You understand? Some people, and you are listening to us, I'm telling you, that even the one you are calling a girlfriend or a boyfriend may actually be inhabiting about 2,000 demons in them. You see, this is why people have nightmares. This is why people go to sleep and they find people coming to sleep with them. They have all these kind of spiritual activities. Why? They slept with only one man, and it does not matter if it's once. The moment the action happens, the spirit possesses the person.
Welcome back on Confessions. We give you the stories, the oh my God, all the emotions you go through, and then we give you solutions to your current life situation and the ones you're about to have, because this is life. It goes up and it definitely comes down. So you would have one issue or the other, and these discussions are supposed to prepare you ahead of these life challenges. This woman came to us. She's been giving out her urine to her friends so that they can take money from their men. We're wrapping up the show. She's calm, she's collected, and she's saying that she's enjoyed the show and the discussion. But here is a place for solutions. How are we helping this young woman? Because she is still pregnant, and she's looking for ways to survive along with her child.
Oh, okay. So Grace Impact Ministries will take up her responsibility now. Aside that, we'll also counsel and pray.
Sorry. I'll say Kabio, but Maninye.
Oh, okay. And so...
Start the whole thing.
All right. And so Grace Impact Ministries is going to take responsibility of her and the unborn child.
That's his Confessions on TV3, a place of solutions.
Because aside praying for her, if you don't support her, she'll go back to the old state. So we are going to do that.
Thank you.
for her.
Thank you. I will come to Prophet and then I come to you, Oga, so that we wrap up the show. Guys, are you good? Yeah. You have questions? Okay. So let me take the questions from the studio before.
Okay, so Miss Nancy, I want to talk about the Constitution.
Okay.
Yeah. The PNDC law 102. Yeah, talks about this kind of things, especially when it comes to abortion.
Yes.
You understand? So our advisor, we know Mr. Okechukwu is a lawyer. Yeah, so Mr. Okechukwu will deal with that. But what I know is that when you are raped, the one maybe the law says you can go for an abortion.
Yeah.
When it's incest, you can go for an abortion. And then also when someone forces you to, aside of rape, there are other ways and means of getting pregnant that you don't want, unwanted pregnancy.
Yeah.
That one's to, the law accepts that. On the other side, the law frowns on abortion.
Yes.
So we should desist from that. And then
So
also,
we congratulate her for taking responsibility for her
yes.
actions.
And also, I also want to advise that these young girls of today, that thinks they can use sex to malign and blackmail the big men that are helping some of them. They should be careful. Because like Pastor said, the big men will come in always. Because there's so much pressure, trouble at workplaces and then at home. And they need places or they need other ladies to take up those stress. So they would come in as a support engine. But they should be mindful that whatever, like Okechukwu said, whatever is given to them, they should be mindful that it's a token from whatever they have also given. So you don't go back and come and say you are blackmailing me. The men, the big men, and my folks, please, let's be wise. Open your eyes. When they come and they say they are pregnant, please hold their hands, take them to the hospital yourself.
Association of Sugar. He's acting as a president for the Association of Sugar Daddies in Ghana. Can't we give him that one? Oh, James Clark, you are something.
What I want to say is that she did that out of desperation. We understand that. But what I want to tell my sisters out there is that they should watch who their friend is.
Yeah.
You have to watch, because the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33.
Preach on, brother.
He said, bad company corrupts good manners.
manners.
So your friend, who is your friend, is very important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Prophet. In this case, for the woman that has been dishing out her urine as a spiritual man, is she all right? Is she okay? Is it okay to be dishing out your urine, or there are spiritual things which she needs some help spiritually?
Okay, so before I answer that, you see, pain is a blessing. It depends on how you see it. There is nothing so beautiful than working for something that produces fruit for you, even with the effort you have put in. Pain is a blessing. Let's never forget that. It depends on how you are seeing it. Scientifically, they will tell you that you can find DNA in urine. You see, a portion of it, scientifically,
Contains your DNA.
urine is actually a spiritual activity. It's not just a physical thing. So even herbalists will counsel you that don't just pee on any plant at all. Certain plants can speak back at you.
True.
If she's giving her urine out, it is not just her urine, like the woman of God said at the time. That's the urine of the unborn baby as well. That carries a destiny, that carries a purpose, that, in spirituality, it carries something glorious. We call it stars, etc. Now, if people are dishing their urine out in quest for money, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not in your shoes. I understand how life can be difficult sometimes. But also understand that you are selling the destiny of your child. And spiritually, it can be exchanged. So you don't want to pay penalty when the child is born and has evil consequences. You will pay more.
Yeah.
You understand? So spiritually, what she is doing, she's selling the destiny of the child. She's selling the glory of the child. And I would like to advise and counsel that go through the pain, as difficult as it is. When the baby is born, the glory of the Lord will come up.
Don't take things for granted. Yes, Oga.
Yes, ma'am. So I'd like to start by just wishing her well. You know, Madame has already provided a beautiful, platform that is going to, take her from the situation.
Where she is.
Absolutely. So, but this is a lesson, not just to her, but to every other person. Make sure that you say the things you need to say to the right people. Don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to reach out to people that will provide the support to you. And then to parents, to leaders, to mentors, okay, please make sure that you are open enough to receive the people that you lead. No matter what it is, listen to them, chastise them, but provide that support that they need. Always.
Always. This has been Confessions on TV3, a place where you get the haven for all your secrets.